Welcome to another episode of On the Pitch. I'm Travis Chepaway.
And I am Emmanuel Palacios. Today we go into another playoffs recap in the NBA as we head to the NBA Finals. We go into our MLB Power Rankings for the month of May.
And we're going to talk about some NBA free agency. And I go into a little rant on horse racing.
Nice.
We're going to follow that with the tweets of the day.
Yeah, another segment of tweets of the day. We have some good tweets.
Got to have those.
Yeah. So let's start off with the playoffs. One series ended.
Done.
It's pretty much done. It's done. And it was pretty sad, not going to lie.
Very sad. I expected more.
Last week, we talked about Game 1. Obviously, with one episode per week, we can't keep up with every single game. But Game 1, it was a little slow. And we were like, all right, well, you said that's how Game 1s are. 1 week later, and the Warriors are in the NBA Finals. Mm-hmm. And Portland's going home. Was this expected? Yes, I expected it. What I did not expect was Portland to have 3 consecutive games of blowing leads of 15 points or more, which is pretty bad. But what did you think of the series?
I really expected more from Portland, honestly. I'm really surprised that they're already out of it. To me, they put up absolutely no fight. There was just no fight. They tried to come out strong, but they just could not hold that through the end. And that fourth quarter, it was coming up big for Golden State. Honestly, Golden State has now gone through Houston in 6 games. They only lost 2 games in Houston. Now they've gone through Portland in 4. In and out of Portland, they're winning. So I don't know.
It's crazy to me.
They're on a tear right now. They're on an absolute tear.
They've just gotten better throughout the playoffs, even as they've lost players. They lost Boogie, they lost KD. Iguodala didn't even play this last game, Game 4. And he's like one of those glue guys. But I felt like the Warriors were tested way more against the Clippers. And then they were more comfortable against the Rockets. And now they just swept Portland with ease. So I can only imagine now, because we're going to talk about this next series, but the Warriors are going to have so much rest before the NBA Finals. While in this series, Toronto and Milwaukee, it's now deadlocked at 2 after Toronto won last night, right? So this series, like we said in the previous episode, it's going to go 7 games.
Yeah. I was hoping for a good 7 in the Portland Golden State, but I mean, as you're saying, losing a few players, it really hasn't slowed Golden State down. I think,
not at all.
As much as I hate to say it, I think that they are used to playing without Boogie. Although I think he is a great contributor to a team, I really don't think he means very much to this Golden State team. I don't think he does that much to where he's that needed, to where with or without him, it's no big deal. And I think they're proving that with KD as well, that, you know what, you might be good, but we don't need you.
I mean, really, it's pretty. I mean, I still think it's so sad how Portland, they battled. They got big games out of a lot of players. Mm-hmm. They had that big game by Seth. They still lost. It was obviously Steph took over that game. This past game, Game 4, Myers Leonard had 25 points at the half or something like that. Who the heck is Myers Leonard, right? And he had 25 at the half. He had the same amount of points as Curry. Big games from guys that they needed to have big games from, and they still couldn't get it done with a team without KD, with a team without Boogie, with a team without Iguodala, and Draymond Green, man. He has turned it on. He has turned it on, and he is the guy right now. He is the guy. Steph Curry is obviously going to be, I would probably say if the Warriors win the finals MVP, in my opinion, I would go with him over Kevin Durant, regardless of what happens. Yeah. Because I think it's due. It's due for Steph. But Draymond Green is that guy. Mm-hmm. And, man, it's crazy.
Honestly, normally I love to jump on any opportunity I can get to hate on Draymond, but nah.
Not this time, because he's doing everything. He had triple-doubles.
I got to give credit where it's due.
There's videos of him talking to Jordan Bell. And it's just like he's the leader. He's a real leader. I think Steph is the main leader of the whole team. I think Draymond is that number 2 guy, and everyone else just follows along, right? And I don't know, man. Whoever wins out of Toronto and Milwaukee is going to have a tough fight, especially since they're going to be tired after 7 games.
They are. Yeah, they are. And Golden State right now is on one, unless this has one of those reverse effects that we have seen sometimes
Yeah.
where teams get too much rest
Too
and
much rest,
they
right?
lose it.
Yeah. That's also big. But when it comes to a team as talented as the Warriors,
Yeah,
the chances of that are like pretty slim.
it's so slim.
It's
Yeah.
slim, but it's possible. And I mean, these two teams are good. Toronto's good. Milwaukee's good. I know for sure that they're going to put up a better fight than Portland did because they're both of these teams are better than Portland.
I think Milwaukee has a much better chance of putting up a fight against Golden State than Toronto does at this point because Toronto, to me, is just exhausted. And
See, you would think that.
They've brought it back. They have.
Yeah, that's my point. You would think that.
I don't think Howie can carry them very much longer.
After 2 games, we were like, wrap it up. Season's over for Toronto.
It's true.
Milwaukee just dusted them.
I expected maybe 1, maybe 2, but not back to back.
We come to Toronto, and Toronto just dusted them up. Giannis had like 12 points, and then this last game, they blew him out. Toronto blew out Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. So now we're going to go back to Milwaukee.
Exactly.
Is there going to be another dusting? And then we're going to go back and forth until, I guess, Game 7 is in Milwaukee. So Milwaukee's going to go to the finals, I guess, if that's how we're playing.
If that's how it goes, yeah.
If that's how it goes.
I mean, it's trending that way. I don't doubt seeing that happen, honestly.
Yeah. Someone's got to win away.
Exactly.
I need to see an away win because if not, then you got to go to Oracle, right? Wait, who has the better record? Does Golden State or Milwaukee have the better record? Golden State probably. I'm honestly not even sure. But regardless of that, I'm not
sure.
Regardless of that,
I wouldn't doubt Golden State. But either way, I think that either team that comes out of this is definitely going to be tired, as you were saying.
So Milwaukee has 60 wins and Golden State has 57. So that's pretty significant, I would say. Because if Milwaukee wins, they will have home court advantage in the finals. While if Toronto wins, whoever wins, they're gonna have in the East is gonna have home court. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty significant. But then again, it is the Warriors. So
that's true.
Yeah,
Warriors, you really can't count them out.
So last month we did power rankings for the MLB. And we had 3 teams. We each chose our own 3 teams to have up there. This month, things have changed, I would say. Things have changed. In my personal, we're doing top 3. Mm-hmm. My personal rankings, 2 teams have dropped out, and 2 new teams have come up. One team that a lot of people said should have been up there anyway, but I just had them out of spite. I just did not want them up there. Now they are. Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
You know what? I'm really interested now that you said that the team's on there out of spite, and I want to know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me just make it clear. It's not the Red Sox.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Okay. They're not on there. As much as you could have begged, I would never put them up there, especially with a 25-23 record. But I'm gonna start with number 3. I have the Yankees. The Yankees are my 3rd team in my power rankings. He's wearing his F the Yankees shirt. That's right. What a great day to wear that shirt.
It's wonderful.
Did you have this plan? Did you know I was going to pick the Yankees?
I mean, I knew we were doing the podcast today. I figured we'd talk about baseball.
Yeah.
And I thought I could shamelessly plug FTY Gear here.
Yeah. Okay, well, anyways, the Yankees, I have them at number 3. They have a 30-17 record, 8-2 in the last 10 games, 14. This is what I like. This is why I'm putting them up there. Because, yeah, they don't have as many wins as Houston. They don't have as many wins as some of the best teams. But they're 14-4 against the AL East. Okay. So 14-4 is very solid. Losing only 4 games out of 18 against your division rivals. Mm-hmm. I know we have Baltimore there, and I know we have Toronto there, but Tampa Bay is also there, and so is Boston. So one thing I like about the Yankees, they're good at home and they're good at away. Mm-hmm. They win in both sides. They can win at Yankee Stadium, and they can win elsewhere. And a lot of teams that you'll see can be amazing at home. I mean, just look at like the Brewers or something. Like they have I don't know how many losses at their house, but then they're horrendous away. So this team I feel is really balanced, and they don't even have their players back. So they're 30-17, and they don't even have all their players back. So I got the Yankees at number 3. Number 2, I have Houston. The Astros are one of the teams that I had them out of spite because I wanted to see what they could do a little later, and they have the best record in baseball right now, 33-16, 18 wins at home. Plus 99 run differential. That's pretty impressive. Since we're still in May, right?
Yeah.
And they lead the MLB in hits, total bases in average, and George Springer is the MVP in the American League so far. That's pretty self-explanatory. It's one of those years for the Astros so far.
I don't like that.
I don't either. I really don't. But they're the second best team in my opinion. And the number one team in baseball, to no one's surprise, in my opinion, is the Los Angeles Dodgers. They are 32-17, which is the third best record so far. Half a game back of the Twins, and one full game back of Houston. They've shut out teams in 5 of the last 10 games with guys who usually don't shut people out. Maeda and Ryu is the Cy Young front runner in my opinion right now in the NL. They have the MVP on their team. That's Cody Bellinger, and they have the best starting rotation in baseball. And I feel like you could debate that, but really, right now, best rotation in baseball. Those are my 3: Yankees 3, Houston Astros 2, LA Dodgers number 1. What do you have, Travis?
Honestly, just a quick little recap here. Since it's been almost exactly 1 month since we came out and we had our power rankings, and at that time I said, I think right now is when we're going to start to see a shift.
Yeah,
all the bad teams that are doing bad right now, they're going to start doing better because we expect them to do better, and the opposite. Well, Seattle was at the top.
Yeah, we had to.
They were at the top.
They were one of the teams that I dropped out because what happened?
Since then, they have won 7 games in the last month.
That's pretty bad.
On the opposite end of that, Tampa Bay has won 12 games. Boston's won 16. Dodgers have won 17.
Yeah.
Yankees 18, and the Twins at 19.
19 games.
The Twins are still putting in work. They're still a force to be reckoned with, and it is absolutely insane to me to think that they're doing this.
Yeah.
So when it comes to power, honestly, Minnesota is up there. They're forcing these wins. They're
I didn't put them up
trucking through. I expect them to fall off.
Yeah, that's why
I'm surprised they haven't yet.
Maybe I should have put them in until they fall off.
I'm surprised they haven't yet, but I have to include them. The Yankees are doing well. They really are, to be minus some of the big names that they are.
A lot of names.
Yeah, I mean, I
big time names.
I think Stanton just got delayed as well with a knee injury. I think I was reading, and I mean they have some big names that just aren't there, and to be doing what they're doing is. I really hate to say this, but it's incredible.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Boston, I mean, I want to add them because they've been doing great, but at the same time, I still see a lot of areas where they need to really bring it together and kind of get their act together, start playing a little bit better. Pitching, just in my opinion, still isn't there. The offense is hit or miss. I know that they've been going off just recently. They believe they beat Toronto 12-2, and then they followed by basically a reverse score of that. And they're not on it yet. So to me, I'm going to have to leave Boston off the top 3. I just can't do it.
They have 25 wins. There's no way you can put them in, regardless.
I mean, I know they have the ability, but
yeah,
at this moment in time,
World Series defending champions.
At this moment in time, I can't do it. The Dodgers are doing great, but I don't know. Tampa Bay, I think is still holding strong. They're just a little bit more well-rounded. And so I'm going to say Minnesota, New York, and Tampa Bay are on my top.
You're leaving the Dodgers off the whole list.
Yeah.
You're leaving the Dodgers. Let me just make sure that's correct. You're leaving the Dodgers.
I'm leaving the Dodgers off just because, to me, I'm not convinced yet.
Say your list again.
Just like Boston.
Convinced of what?
Just like Boston. I'm not convinced yet that they can maintain this level. I mean, like, Boston has to step it up.
One of those two teams.
The Dodgers need to. I need to continuously see this happen.
That's hilarious.
I can't commit to them yet. I just can't.
I don't think you'll ever commit to them. Even if they're at 100 wins at the end of the year, you won't commit to them.
Look, you know what? If they hit 100 wins, we will get to that conversation then. You can hold me to that. But until then, I'm not convinced.
All right, man. Stay unconvinced. And then this is the year we're going to win the World Series, and then I get to rub it in your face at the end. But I just want to make one thing clear. Boston has 23 losses. They're 2 games over 500, first of all. So I completely agree with you being unconvinced with Boston. Tampa Bay, the Dodgers just played Tampa Bay. They're in a current series with them right now. I believe we won yesterday. Dodgers won. So that's in Tampa Bay. So that's not saying much, really. 27-18 is still a good record. 2 games back of the Yankees. So it's respectable.
The Yankees really came back, though.
Yeah.
Like I said, 18 games in this past month that they've won.
And this is the record I was telling you about. The Yankees 17-10 at home. And then it's hard to win away, and they're 13-7. So that's solid. All right. So those are our power rankings for the MLB. Now I want to go on to something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. And we had to wait a little bit because we're getting to the NBA Finals right now. Mm-hmm. After the NBA Finals is the NBA Draft. And then in July, we know it's a long time, but we can still make this right now. We're going to do the NBA Free Agency Predictor.
Uh-oh.
NBA Free Agency Predictor. For the top 6, I would say these are the top 6 free agents. Right.
I don't think I can argue that.
Yeah, these are there's some names, obviously, that we left off. We're not going to talk about Tobias Harris because I feel like he's just a little bit outside. But let's start off with the 6th best free agent, Jimmy Butler. Where is Jimmy Butler going to be next season?
Jimmy Buckets.
Yeah, Jimmy of the Buckets, as Boban would say.
He's also, as I'm just noticing, the only one on this name who does not have a first name starting with a K.
That is so creepy. That is true. That is absolutely true. Yep.
I'm honestly just going to have fun with this one. I'm going to have a lot of fun with this one. Jimmy Buckets to Atlanta Hawks.
To the Hawks. He's going to pair up with Trae Young.
He's going to go to Atlanta.
You know what? I would actually like to see that.
I just, his style, just who he is as a person.
I can't even picture it.
It's just scrappy enough. I think he can go in there.
I can't even picture that, to be honest. I'm trying to picture Jimmy Butler in a Hawks jersey, and I just cannot. But then again, I couldn't picture him in a 76ers jersey.
Exactly. He still looks funny in it to me.
Or Minnesota. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
So you're saying the Hawks, huh?
Yeah. What do you have?
I'm saying he's going to stay with the 76ers.
Ooh.
I think he's going to re-sign with the 76ers. I think the 76ers are going to choose between Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler, and they're going to re-sign one of them. And I have a feeling that Jimmy enjoys Philadelphia. I feel like he clicks better with Ben and Joel than he did anywhere else, except for maybe Chicago with Derrick Rose. But I feel like he wants to build something with Joel. I don't know so much about Ben, but I feel like they have a great relationship, all 3 of them, which is something crazy to see because Jimmy Butler has a lot of,
Exactly, and that's partly why I don't see him staying.
Yeah.
That's
going to be everywhere.
That nagging feeling that something's going on.
Yeah. There's always something going on. But I've seen videos of him trying to get involved in the community. I didn't see that in Minnesota. I see him doing things for Philadelphia, the city. So I have him sticking with the 76ers with that max contract. And I think Philly has to do that. They have to do that. Okay, let's move on. The second guy, one of our first of the Ks.
The first of the Ks.
I would say the 5th best free agent available, Klay Thompson. Did you have fun with this one, or did you? I want to have fun with this one.
I put a foot in the fun and a foot in the conservative.
Okay.
So my conservative foot is saying that he stays with Golden State because honestly, he's a great player.
Right.
He's a great secondary, for lack of a better word.
Secondary player.
Secondary player.
Secondary star.
Yeah, exactly. And why would you let someone like that go? But at the same time, call it somewhat fantasizing and wanting to have fun with it. What if he went to the Lakers?
Great mind things alike, man. Great minds.
What if he went to the Lakers?
Okay, let me tell you what I had Klay Thompson. I have him definitely staying in Golden State. But if something big happens with KD or Boogie, and for whatever reason Golden State says, well, we're not going to offer you the full max, because a lot of people don't think that Klay Thompson is worth the full max, because he's a secondary superstar, secondary star. So they're like, is Klay Thompson really worth a max contract? KD is worth the max contract. That's obvious. Boogie Cousins is not at all. Nowhere near that.
Unfortunately.
But, Golden State's already paying a bunch of money in taxes. So they can be like, we're trying to save money. I'm sorry, Klay. Will you accept this? It's a little bit below. Let me tell you who's going to offer him a max contract. The Lakers. So that's why I had Golden State, Klay Thompson going to Golden State, staying in Golden State, or the Lakers if something big happens. I don't see Klay going anywhere else. It's either Golden State or the Lakers, right? Okay. The fourth best free agent available, Kemba Walker. Where do you think Kemba's going?
Boston.
Oh, man.
Boston all day.
Yeah.
Because they need him. They absolutely need him. Kyrie's gone. Everyone's gone.
See, the thing about this is I can't see him in a Celtics jersey. Like, I've tried to picture Kemba in a Celtics jersey, and I can't.
I will Photoshop it for you later.
Photoshop it then. Photoshop it then, and I'll see if it...
Because
it's just weird.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
I have...
Kemba to Boston.
I have Kemba... Okay, this is my dark horse.
Uh-oh.
This is my dark horse. It's not the Lakers. It's nothing crazy. It's something that I feel like is logical.
Mm-hmm.
I have Kemba Walker to the Indiana Pacers. Because...
That honestly crossed my mind.
Because I think that... Imagine the pairing of Oladipo and Kemba Walker. Yeah. That's solid.
Yeah.
That's really solid. Oladipo is pretty... He's improved big time defensively. Kemba Walker, obviously, small point guard. He needs help on the end. But then you have Miles Turner, who I want to say got snubbed from the All-NBA defensive team today. And I saw him tweet or something that he was very upset about that. But anyway, you have a great center there to protect the rim for Kemba's defensive shortcomings. But, yeah, I could see him on the Pacers. But I also said I can also see him in Boston replacing Kyrie.
There we go.
That's possible.
There we go.
I want to say it's very possible. I don't know how the money's going to work in Boston because I know they have Gordon Hayward under contract. But with Kyrie off the books,
exactly,
there's a place for...
And Terry Rozier is going to be gone.
He's gone too, so they have a big time need at the point guard position.
Yeah, they're clearing it up, which I think brings us to our next K.
Yeah.
Kyrie
Irving.
Where do you see him?
I only have him to one team. And we've talked about this before. I don't have him to the Lakers. A lot of people have said Brooklyn. I don't know too much about Brooklyn, to be honest. It's possible, I guess, but I'd have to look more into Brooklyn and their cap situation. I know they have cap, but I have them to the Knicks. I have them to the Knicks because that's what everyone has said, and that's really what I believe. Because, first of all...
Only if KD doesn't go.
Hold it. Kyrie, a lot of teams have already put out reports that they're, a little... scared about giving all this money because of what's gone on at the end of Cleveland and his tenure in Boston. They've described him as toxic, as self-centered, not a team player. And as to how true those things are, I can only say what I've seen, and I feel like there's some truth to that because Boston is a team that has had the talent to go much farther in the playoffs. They did so last year without Kyrie, with pretty much the same exact team. And now with Kyrie, all of a sudden everything goes wrong. So that says a lot. And the Knicks need him. And the Knicks don't care how toxic he is. Because
it's true.
The Knicks need something. The Knicks need to bring their fans in, and they need to sign someone big. And that's why we're hearing Kyrie plus that other guy coming to New York, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But I have Kyrie to the Knicks.
I don't know. Out of those two, I think Brooklyn to me would make more sense. I mean,
but do you
look what it's done for D'Lo's?
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. Do you pair him with D'Lo, or do you have to get rid of D'Lo? Because D'Lo, if I remember correctly, is also a free agent.
I say pair him. Why not?
I mean that's not out of the question because we know that the fans thought that the Lakers were gonna pair D'Lo and Lonzo, and then all of a sudden everything went crazy. But where do you have Kyrie going?
You're going to hate me.
Oh, I know where this is going.
Yep. Kyrie is going to get down on his knees and crawl back to Big Brother Bronny and say, "Please, Bron, take me back. I'm sorry."
I want to know why you think this is going to happen.
And then him and Bron are going to take over for the Lakers, and you're going to be happy about it.
Hey, you know what? This is the thing. Like when the Lakers, people get mad when I say we. Like when I'm talking about a team. Do you have an issue with that, or do you say we?
I do it, but I understand how it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. When I say we, I'm talking about the Lakers.
Unless we're personally involved with
yeah.
the team, it does seem a bit weird. Like I do get that, but at the same time, I feel so emotionally connected to these teams. Like it's a part of me. I mean, I got a Red Sox tattoo. It's a part of me.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, but for the people who don't, I don't care. I'm gonna say we. When we signed LeBron, well, when there were rumors, obviously, about the Lakers signing LeBron, I was like, oh man, I don't know about this. The moment he signs, let's go. So if Kyrie were to sign, I only care about the logistics because Kyrie is a score first point guard, and I don't know how much, the Lakers are interested in pairing up Lonzo and Kyrie if that was to happen, because they didn't want to do it with D'Lo.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, because D'Lo had his own baggage, Kyrie has his own baggage, and Lonzo has his own baggage.
But so does the Lakers front office.
Yeah, it's a whole mess. But do I see it happening? I mean, we've heard reports that it's possible, but I don't know. I still don't think that's gonna happen, to be honest. But if you want to go with that, you can go with that.
There we go. It's confirmed by a Lakers fan. Kyrie to Lakers.
I never said that, but I said you. All right, so that's Kyrie. Let's move on to the number 2 free agent available this summer. Fun guy Kawhi.
Fun guy
Kawhi.
Ni hao.
Yeah, that was hilarious. That was hilarious. Well, that's Fun guy Kawhi for you guys. Where do you think Kawhi's going?
Nowhere. He's staying. No way Toronto lets him go. No way. No. I think even if Toronto didn't have enough money, Drake would step in and be like, "What do I got to pull out of pocket to keep him here?"
I'll give you my. He has an airplane now. He has an airplane.
He's got everything. I mean,
he's got everything. Yeah, he's got a private jet or something. No, it's not even a private jet. I feel like it's a huge. I've seen it.
It's like it's a private commercial flight. Like
it is. It literally is. And Drake will give it to him. I saw something. I think it was Cassidy Hubbard, the reporter, NBA reporter. She said that restaurants around Toronto have done like a promotion that's like Kawhi dines for free if he resigns.
I saw those stickers. They had the stickers. Kawhi and dine.
Kawhi and dine. There it is. Kawhi and dine. Kawhi and dine. If Kawhi signs, he gets to eat for free at all these restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. That's how much they want him, man.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think Toronto. See, I know Kawhi is a guy that's hard to read. You just don't know.
Yeah.
And he doesn't let anything out of his camp either.
Exactly.
There's no information coming out. To me, it seems like he enjoys being there.
Yeah.
I feel like we've seen but it is the playoffs also. But guys don't show emotion in the regular season that much. I've seen him in Toronto, obviously, with that game winner. He seems to enjoy being there. But I can definitely see him coming to LA. Okay, so if something happens in Toronto,
worst comes to worst, yeah.
That's what his plan has been this whole time. Is this another Paul George situation where he re-signs with the team that traded for him? I think it's I don't want to say likely, but I think it's a great possibility now that is an option. But I can definitely see him coming to LA, either to the Clippers or to the Lakers. I know he loves LA. I don't know what his preference is, but I definitely know that LeBron is going to be recruiting him, and I definitely know that the Clippers are going to be recruiting him big time, just like every other NBA team as well. But Toronto, they played their cards right so far.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it seems, at least.
Yeah, and like you're saying, he's actually having fun.
Yeah.
Like, I actually see him having fun, and that to me means a lot, and that's why I think he's going to stay, because he's legitimately enjoying himself.
That's what we saw with Paul George. Paul George started enjoying his time with Russ. I don't know about it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know about how it is right now.
Times might have changed a little bit.
Yeah. All right, so the number 1 free agent available this summer, Kevin Durant.
Yep.
Where's Kevin Durant going?
Since I don't have Kyrie going to the Knicks, I have KD going to the Knicks.
Okay.
He needs to get away from the Bay. He needs to go somewhere where he can do something, be KD. And to me, that's the Knicks.
Yeah.
He needs to go to the Knicks.
He's an East Coast guy. He's an East Coast guy. I have him going to the Knicks as well. That's where we've seen all the smoke come from. That's where we've seen all the rumors come from. And where there's smoke, there's fire. So I do believe that this is legitimate. We've also heard Brooklyn, and we've always heard that it's the Kyrie and KD show. Like they're gonna pair up and all that.
I
But
don't
we
see that
haven't
happening.
we haven't really, that's what the indication has been. That's what people have been saying, but we really haven't seen from these two guys
Mm-hmm.
that that's a plan. And that obviously doesn't mean much if it does actually happen. But currently, right now, how it stands, we haven't seen any info from both camps that indicate that that's gonna happen. So Brooklyn is a possible. I know he's gonna. I feel like he's gonna come to the East Coast definitely. Does he do another 1 year deal with the Warriors? Another 1-1, so he becomes a free agent next year.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of options. It's like what LeBron did back in Cleveland, a 1-1. He signs for 1 year, then he gets that player option where he gets to choose. So that's also a possibility. I don't know why people aren't talking about that much because KD, he gets money from Nike, so he's a rich dude, and he gets obviously a big time 1 year deal. And next year he'll have another opportunity to be a free agent. So those are the top 6 NBA free agents. We were actually on par on some of these picks.
Surprisingly,
Yeah, like we actually agreed. Obviously, we didn't agree on the Kyrie one. But we were Kemba Walker. We both thought it's possible he goes to Boston. Klay Thompson, Golden State or the Lakers. Jimmy Butler, I had him staying in. You went off the, I don't know. You went off the reservation with that one.
Like I said, I had fun with that one. Okay.
Yeah. Kawhi, we were good, and then KD, we were good. So that's the NBA free agency predictor edition today. Now we're gonna move on to something a little serious. I know that this is a topic that you are very adamant about talking about.
A little bit.
Yeah, something very close to your heart. So I'll give you the podium now.
All right. It is tied in here because it is technically sports related.
Yeah.
In a sense, horse racing. All right. So a few big horse races have just passed. We had the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness just ended, and now people are looking at the Belmont Stakes.
Right.
Because for some reason, these people love to get their thrills while watching these tiny humans ride on top of horses. These animals are out there performing at an absolute elite level. I mean, they have to be the best of the best of the best. Now, what sucks is all the training and conditioning that they have to go through nonstop in order to get there. I mean, it happens with humans, like normal athletes as well. But to me, the main difference is athletes and people that compete at that level, they're making that choice to go out there. These horses are being forced into it.
Right.
Like, they really don't have a choice. There's no Mr. Ed talking horse like, hey, you know what? I don't want to race today. Mm-hmm. My leg hurts. Mm-hmm. They just, these people look at the horses, oh, it's acting a little weird. Let's give it a painkiller. Let's inject it with this, inject it with that. And they just keep putting it through it. Now, Slate.com actually reports that 3-year-olds, meaning the 3-year-old horses, guarantee both viewing and wagering excitement. They're old enough to burn up the track, but raw enough to add the element of uncertainty that makes gambling worthwhile. So they look at 3-year-old horses for the most part to go out there and race these races because by 4, they've reached a maturity level to where it really kind of cuts out the odds. Like, all right, we know who's better than who kind of thing. Like, it's kind of obvious who's going to win, so it takes out that wagering element. So they go after these younger horses, and honestly, what I think sucks is they're just sent off to slaughter after. Like, they're of no more use after racing, and if they're not an important enough horse to be used in breeding, which you can make millions upon millions upon millions of dollars breeding the right horse, but if they're not one of those select few horses and someone doesn't want to adopt that horse, kill it. That's it. Like, just kill it. CNN actually just reported, too, one day after suffering a rare pelvis injury during a race, a 3-year-old thoroughbred named Spectacular Music was euthanized, becoming the 25th death this season at Santa Anita Park in California. Now, I actually recently wrote an entire article on horse racing, and I mentioned Santa Anita quite a bit in it because in this short time since this past Christmas, they've had more horse deaths than their highest number in an entire year. I mean, something serious is going on here, but it continues to happen. And you have the ownership of Santa Anita coming out saying, oh, our biggest concern is the safety of the people on the horses. Obviously not. I mean,
25 is a big.
I don't see
massive
25
number.
football players dying within a few month period, and the NFL just saying, "Oh, no big deal.
Yeah.
We'll look into it."
Actually, that does happen. Over like.
Not unless it's the players' wives that they're beating. Then they just overlook it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately. But Darren Rovell actually reported the 4.3 overnight rating for the race portion of the 2019 Preakness Stakes is the lowest ever. The lowest ever. Ha. I like that. That means that people are becoming a little bit less interested in it. And now ultimately all we have to do is get these degenerate gamblers off of horse races, move them over to sports, and just let these horses be free.
Yeah. That's you know what? I'm gonna be completely honest. Like, this is not a topic that brought too much. I would say not something that I really felt impacted by in any way, because first of all, I don't watch it. I don't watch horse racing, so it doesn't like really affect me in any way. But I remember when American Pharoah won the Triple Crown is when all this the media became super interested in it, because other than that, unless someone is like, for a casual like me, because I know nothing about horse racing, it's not something that I'm focusing on unless history is about to be made.
Exactly.
While, like you said, there's a group of people, a major group of people, gamblers, whatever the case may be, super into the sport, and it's not so much about the sport, but it's about the money that comes out of it. Yeah. So that being said, it's like, I mean, horses are property. It's like it's not an athlete. Like in sports like this, like in basketball, or whatever, any sport where humans are involved. It's a human, right?
Exactly.
But like what you said is exactly right. Like, they can say, "Yo, I don't want this painkiller. Yo, I don't want this surgery. Yes, I do want this surgery." With horses, it's literally, it's not about what you want. It's about what's going to make me money, what I need you to compete for. And then these 25 deaths have been because of injuries. It's not even, and the injuries that are occurring is because, it's the practicing. This doesn't happen in anything else. And just because they're animals doesn't mean that, it's right. And that's just something that needs to be heard, really. And
it sucks too, because a lot of the time it'll be a broken leg or something stupid like that.
Yes, it won't even be.
And they kill it because it's too expensive to fix it.
Yeah,
it's too expensive. Like, I mean, come on.
That's another problem that I have with animal, injuries. Not even just horses, because like if your dog or something gets hurt or whatever, and you have to take him to the vet, those prices are insane. They are absolutely insane.
It's true. Yeah.
I mean, I know from personally how that, with my dog. So it's just insane to me, and that needs to be changed, in my opinion. That something has to occur with that, and this is just sad. This is completely sad, and that's something that needs to be. If you haven't checked out Travis's article, it's a really good article. I posted it. I think I posted it on my Instagram, but we'll post this also on the links below, because this is something that people need to be aware of.
Yeah, definitely. Be aware, understand what's going on, because it's just not fair.
It's not. It's really not fair. Well, we're about to wrap up today's episode, but we have a couple things to cover. Our tweets of the day. I want to take this moment. I'm going to start off with this tweet, because this is something that is dear to our hearts here. Tweet of the day is coming from my account. I tweeted this.
Shameless plug.
Yes. Follow my Twitter. It will be in the description box. At EMMXXUEL. Congrats to the back-to-back state champions, Mount Sac softball.
Yep.
What can you say about that, man? Back-to-back state champions, Mount Sac softball. Yesterday we were watching it. It was in Bakersfield. We had a class. We weren't able to cover this one. Be there live for this game, but we had the live stream going. I was in class trying to do a video, trying to do a project, but I kept running back and forth because, man, it was a good game.
It was a great game.
It was a good game, and then fifth inning they blew it up. They were leading 7-1, ended 7-4. But I just want to take this moment to shout out Mount Sac softball, back-to-back champions.
Honestly, well done, ladies.
Yeah, well done. Clap it up for them. Do you have a tweet?
Honestly, I want to mention a little soccer play that I saw. Unfortunately, we can't quite show. Yeah, we can't quite show the video.
Right.
But I could not find a tweet to top this.
Yeah.
So, there's a player making a corner kick. They kick it in, and there's a player with his back to the goal. He jumps up, hits the ball with his ass, and it goes in the goal. Like,
you gotta cough it up for that guy. I mean, how many guys do you know who can score? I've never scored. I mean, we both played soccer.
That's playing butt ball right there.
Yeah, we both played soccer. I've never scored a goal with my butt. Have you scored a goal with your butt?
It doesn't ring a bell. Yes, it really does not ring a bell.
So that's impressive.
It looked planned. Like, he jumped up fully ready for it. Just kind of just threw it back, and it went right in. Like,
imagine being the goalie. Like, I don't know what the score was, but
you do not overcome that ever.
It's like one of those errors. Like, you just don't allow
there's
a goal
the butt fumble
by your butt.
There's the butt fumble in the NFL, and now there's the butt goal.
The butt goal
in that guy's life.
There it is. The butt goal. What are we missing? We have the butt fumble. We have the butt goal now. What do we need? Like,
because butt technical.
The butt. How would that work?
I don't know. Let's ask Russell Westbrook.
I'm thinking about.
I'm sure he can get one.
Maybe like an outfielder, like drops the ball and he face plants or something, but then the ball lands on his ass.
Or he sits on it and he doesn't know he's.
No.
How would you not know you're sitting?
Yes.
Right, though? I mean,
I feel like that's a personal problem right there. All right, so I have one more tweet. There's been a little beef going on. I don't know if you're aware. Chris Broussard and Kevin Durant. So Chris Broussard went off on KD saying that the Warriors winning against Portland, going to the NBA Finals without KD, could be his worst nightmare because everyone knows that, or everyone believes now that the Warriors don't need KD to win. So KD goes on Twitter like he always does and says, "Oh, is that really my worst nightmare?" Sarcastically. And then Chris Broussard goes on Fox Sports today, and says that KD texts. Him and KD text all the time. Whatever, 2 to 3 hours a day. We have a relationship. And then KD says, Cap. You don't have my number, man. That is not my tweet, but... So Chris Broussard says, you know what? I text KD all the time. We're cool. And KD says, yo, you don't have my number.
Yeah.
So that's like, who's lying? Chris Broussard then says, he DMs him. Twitter DMs or Instagram DMs or whatever. So they had conversations on there. I believe that. I believe that they have DM conversations. But then someone said, Nick Gleason 1 says, Chris Broussard been texting a random dude named Kevin. So
I legitimately almost used that exact tweet.
It was.
I almost used that exact tweet.
Dude, I'm glad you did it because this is an amazing tweet. That's a great tweet. Chris Broussard been texting a random dude named Kevin, and maybe. One last tidbit before we end today. All NBA teams are being announced today, and all NBA rookie teams were announced. And in the first team, all 5 of the first picks of the draft were on that first team, which is something cool. I would say it doesn't really happen all the time. So DeAndre Ayton from the Suns, Marvin Bagley from the Kings, Doncic, who was picked 3rd but got traded to the Mavs, Jaren Jackson for the Grizzlies, and Trae Young for the Hawks. All 5 first picks on the NBA first team. Pretty cool, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool.
All right, so that's been another episode of On the Pitch. We appreciate y'all listening. Today we talked about the playoffs recap, heading to the NBA Finals, and we did our power rankings for the month of May.
Talked about some NBA free agency, as well as a little rant on horse racing, and ended with the tweets of the day. It's been a good episode. That it has.
Well, thank you once again for tuning in. Until next time, this has been another episode of On the Pitch.